Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Michelle. Nice to see you here.
Thanks.
I'm Anka from SocialBee, and this is Michelle, my co-host. She is here from Visibility Vixen. I will let her tell you more about her. But before we do that, I want to make sure everybody is here. So, how is everybody? Where are you logging in from? If you could just type it in the chat so that we make sure you can hear us well, so that we make sure everything is great. Michelle, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm also excited to learn more about getting a better visibility online and automating my social media.
I know it's like the perfect combination. I know it can be such a struggle. And so I'm thrilled to be here to contribute my part and then show what I've done, with you and your company to make this so much easier.
Yeah, I see there are already people joining in from Germany, from Florida, from Texas. So very varied.
All over the world.
Yeah, all over the world. International. So do you have any questions before we get started? Any questions for our audience is what I mean.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'd love to hear from you guys because I know obviously your time is really valuable. So if you're here at this webinar, it's most likely because you've been feeling either frustrated with your visibility efforts in terms of not really knowing what your strategy should be on the marketing side of your business, or you're familiar with what the overall strategy should be, but you get really frustrated with social media posting, either with coming up with content or getting it scheduled. It's a time issue. So you just, forget it and then just push it off month after month. And it's probably been like 2 years at this point. So I'd love to know in the chat which area you're at in terms of struggle, because we want to be sure to address your needs here on this webinar. So I would love, my personal goal, and I'm sure it's Anka's too, is to be able to have you walk away from this feeling like, oh, like that's finally demystified. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. And I have like a to-do list that now I can go through and execute this and make this happen. So just give me a little bit of an indicator below in the chat and let us know so that we can be sure to address your questions and your struggles, because trust me, you are not alone on this journey. All of us have struggled with our visibility in some way, shape, or form, whether it's getting on camera, whether it's figuring out how to start regularly publishing blogs, whatever it may be. So you are definitely not alone.
Yeah, definitely not alone. And throughout this webinar, we will be learning more about how to get more visible online, how to free up your time, and also we'll be doing a bit of a demo on SocialBee and how you can use that to leverage everything and put it all together so that you have an awesome tool by your side and awesome trainings as well. By the way, our colleague Roxana is in the chat, so she'll be assisting there. If you have any questions, don't forget to add them to the Ask a Question section, as there will be a Q&A at the end of this. And yes, there will be a replay, because I know you will ask about this. There will be a recording of this webinar, and you will be getting it via email later on. Should we get the show on the road?
Yeah, let's get it on the road. And Kai, I see your question, so I'll be sure to address that specifically. I actually work with a lot of realtors up here in Idaho, so happy to crystallize that for you. And Michelle, the options were just, what is your current struggle with your visibility strategy or your social media strategy? So yeah, let's dive in.
Let's. Kai, if you want to add that question to the Ask a Question section, that would be great. That way we don't miss it at the end of the webinar.
Perfect. So do you want me to share my screen here, Anka?
Go ahead and share your screen. For now, I will be turning off my webcam and being on the down low so that I can listen to you and take notes.
Perfect. Okay, so I want to make sure that everyone can see this. So can you just let me know? I think it's working, but while I'm doing this presentation, I'm going to be kind of going back and forth just so that I can see your questions in the meantime. So Just let me know. Yes. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll actually look at the questions in the chat as well so that I can assist so that you have enough. You already have enough on your plate.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, so welcome. Today we're going to be chatting about how to free up your time and automate your social media. You are definitely not alone with this struggle. And the reason why Anka and I came together is because this is something that I decided to do when I started exploring the SocialBee platform. So don't worry, we're going to be talking not only about how to increase your visibility, but the tools to use to make that happen. If you're unfamiliar with me and my brand Visibility Vixen, I'm Michelle Lewis. I started this business back in 2016 after spending about a decade in Hollywood working on TV shows and movies. But when a studio stole my script, I realized that so much of my power was out of my own hands. And I decided I wanted to create my own path by being an entrepreneur. So that led to me teaching what I knew in terms of helping people get on camera, and just gradually morphed as I used Hollywood strategies to book publicity and opportunities and TEDx stages and podcasts that normally wouldn't have been possible. But with this unique background, I was able to position myself in a way to make it happen. So I'm going to be showing you the kind of stuff that I did and showing you the number one strategy that I use to free up my time and automate my social media so that you can understand how to do the same thing. And I totally went Jeff crazy with this because I just had such a good time. So forgive me, and I hope you enjoy it this morning or this evening, depending on where you are in the world, and that it'll keep your attention, right? Because that's the hardest thing to do on classes. And I would love for you to stay with me until the end, because we are going to be presenting some unique offers that you can take advantage of that you'll only find on this class. So be sure to do that. The first thing I want to encourage you to do is to turn off all your distractions. It can be really challenging because we're doing a bunch of things at once. I'm not saying you're not a great multitasker, but I just don't want you to miss any of the points I'm going to be covering, because I tend to be a fast talker and I tend to fire hose information. And please be sure as we go along to put those questions in the chat so Anka can ask me. I want you to feel crystal clear on every step. Okay? So the first thing I'd like us to do in the chat is to define visibility. What does it mean to you? What are some of your thoughts when you hear visibility? This is a word that did not exist in the online space in 2016. When I made Visibility Vixen, a lot of people didn't even really know what visibility was. But since then, of course, we all know it's blown up in its popularity, but it can get a little bit confusing to really narrowly define it. So I want you to say in the chat, what do you think visibility is? What are you thinking? I hear a lot of it's being seen online, it's posting on social media, it's marketing, it's booking press, it's
I think it's actually being constantly there, being constantly in the eye of your audience, in their mind, actually.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Michelle saying being seen and heard in a consistent way by her target audience. Oh, Jeremy, I'm sorry the audio isn't working for you. I would actually exit out and then come back in and see if it changes. Being seen,
refreshing usually helps.
Yeah, so these are all really good definitions. And I just want to take it one step further with you, because if we can break down the difference between visibility and publicity, you're going to really see why visibility needs to come first. So visibility are the strategies of bringing in website traffic, subscribers, and revenue. Really a specific way of doing your marketing so that you're monetizing it. Because otherwise you could be posting on 6 different platforms and just throwing spaghetti against the wall, hoping that it sticks, but it's not necessarily benefiting you. We have to make sure that we define visibility in a way that, yes, you're being seen, but you're also reaping the benefits of being seen through a customized plan of bringing people to your website, bringing them onto your email list, and converting them into customers. So now let's define publicity. Publicity are the strategies that we use to be seen as the expert to increase our credibility and trust. So this is why you're guesting on podcasts or publications or stages, television, releasing your first book, whatever it may be. So visibility is translating us being seen into revenue. Publicity is getting more known in our space as the expert so that people trust us and see us as the main expert in our field. Does that make sense? I want to make sure everyone's clear on the difference, because this will be really, really important as we go through, so that you know why, obviously, visibility has to come first. Because you could be booking a TV appearance, but if you don't have everything in place on the back end to support that traffic and monetize it with your visibility strategy, it's going to be a disaster, right? So that's the big difference. And what we're going to be talking about today are something that I've coined as visibility vehicles, which is specifically blogging, video, live streaming, podcasting, summits, and social media posts. You don't need to worry about it. I'm going to break it down more for you, but just kind of associate these terms with visibility. If I were to say guest podcasting, writing opinion pieces, TV appearances, and getting on stage, that's more publicity. Making sense? So tell us in the chat, what are your current visibility strategies and are they working? There's no shame if they're not. I want you to claim it and own it. Say, this feels so incredibly hard, or put, a drowning emoji, like whatever you want to do. It's totally normal to feel overwhelmed with visibility and just end up doing nothing. And I don't know if you can relate to my friend Kermit here, but sometimes when I'm on my computer, this is how I feel. I feel like I'm having to do all the things. So what is your current visibility strategy, and is it working? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. Okay, Kai is saying post on social media regularly. Good. How's that working? Are you seeing conversions in terms of followers or website traffic? Okay, Michelle has blog and video, live streams, podcasts, social media posts. So how's this going for you, Michelle? Are you seeing the traffic? Are you seeing the sales yet? I know, just because I know you're a member of the lounge, I know that you're still working on the back end of getting the opt-in finalized. Tom's saying his challenge is to convince clients of the value. I hear you. I definitely hear you. And I'd actually, Tom, in your case, I would watch some of the transitions of this webinar to see how we've done that. That might be educational as well. And I think that us coming up with a solid visibility plan will be helpful too. I don't know if I'm saying this right, Aurora. I hope so. She's running contests with a few online blog social media influencers, but no conversions. Okay, let's get a little further down the road here and see if there's anything you want to tweak. I think contests are so incredibly amazing, but definitely getting it out there in a way where it will start bringing you in conversions, because otherwise that's just frustrating, right? Okay. And yes, Kai, organic Facebook reach decreased a lot in the last few years, for sure. Mike is saying his plan is to post consistently in a variety of mediums, but focusing on video multiple times a week, but I haven't implemented yet. Great, Mike. So this is going to help give you the structure so you can go, okay, A, B, C, so you can get in that rhythm. Consistency is huge. We'll be covering that more in a little bit, but yeah, it's absolutely critical and has made such a difference for me. So most entrepreneurs fall into one of two categories. They're either in the hustle or in the ignore. So they're either scrambling week to week to post on social and throwing spaghetti at the wall like we talked about, or they're so busy working inside of their business, they have no bandwidth or energy to be able to work on their visibility. So this can be a vicious cycle, no matter what category you're in. I get it. I have been there. I've really been in the hustle. I've been in the ignore too, where I'm like, I just can't face it. And I ignore it for a month. And I'm like, why am I not growing? You know what I mean? We're entrepreneurs. We're strange people. So either category gets very frustrated and tired because the last thing they want to do is add another task to their plate, right? Especially one that's going to take up more time and not guarantee results. So for me and my business, my content rolls out weekly to all my social media channels. And this is automatic, by the way. I just check in once a day to engage on where people are commenting, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. And what's really nice is that I can go on vacation pretty much at any time and have my SocialBee hands-free. Do you see that little tie-in of SocialBee? So clever, right? So let's future cast a little bit. What would it feel like to be able to streamline your social media content to be in engagement mode instead of frantic creation mode, and to have your audience excited about your new content so they're ready to buy while freeing up more of your time? This is like the dream, right? So let me show you how to get to that dream. Understanding how to get your visibility streamlined is key to taking those specific actions to still feed your audience, but to free up your time. Still give them value, but you're not stuck behind your computer working on free content all the time and posting sporadically to all the social media channels. It's just too crazy, right? So the first thing that I want us to do is to focus on your visibility vehicle. Some of you that are familiar with me probably already have this going on, and that's great. You can put it in the chat, and I'm sure people would love to see it. But for those of you that haven't, let's go a little bit deeper into what a visibility vehicle is. This is anything that is driving traffic to your site. So this is a blog, a podcast, a live stream, or possibly like a YouTube channel, a video creation channel. You see what I'm saying? This could even be an online summit. Anything that you're using as a public content platform to get people to go to your website, to opt in as a subscriber, and to convert to a sale. So this is going to help us get into a consistent schedule of posting fresh content weekly. This is the first weak point that most entrepreneurs face, is that they're not releasing public content. And public content is key for an audience to start recognizing you, seeing you as the authority in your niche, and trusting you with their email address. We're not really excited to sign up for email lists anymore, are we? We get so inundated. So we really have to give high value that people can understand and go, oh, wow, like this is someone that I really want to learn from. Like I said, it's the best way to showcase your authority, attract new customers, and get them to convert into subscribers or sales. This doesn't have to suck up a lot of your time. What I like to do is I like to set aside one day a month, and that's when I get everything done. So, for example, for me, I kind of do a multitude of things. I don't want you to start on this level because this is more intense, but I'm just giving this as an example. I record a video. I then break that video down into a blog. I strip that MP3 that goes on my podcast, and then I also take that video, it goes above the blog, on my Facebook in different places, and also on my YouTube channel. This is rolling out every week, and I'm also emailing my subscribers who are not customers yet, sending them to this free content so that they will ultimately buy from me. Making sense? This way you can provide fresh content to source your social media from. So I want to ask you guys, and I'm here to brainstorm with you too, what is a visibility vehicle that you can focus on for the next 90 days? Is it easiest for you to just plan out live streams? You're going to live stream once a week to your Facebook business page, your Facebook group, your Instagram, your YouTube channel, wherever you have a bit of a following. Is podcasting, does that light you up? And you love that and you can't wait to publish content there once a week. Do you enjoy writing? So a blog would be a much better idea. Do you enjoy the idea of an online summit and bringing together people from all different expertises that you can showcase and bring in subscribers and sales from? Do you want to start a video channel and start presenting your expertise on film? So let me know in the comments something that inspires you and what you think a great visibility vehicle would be for your business. Great. Free video or email courses. Awesome, Will. And is this going to be on your YouTube? I definitely recommend having your vehicle be on a public platform. Kai is saying Facebook page. Great. So are you going to be live streaming to your Facebook page? What I'm going to be showing you in just a few minutes here is how you can actually have your social media posts roll out from your visibility vehicle. So that's something to definitely consider. Frank is saying video broadcasting, fantastic. Lee is saying video, great. So this is a great place to start. And what I want you to start doing is to sit down with your calendar and figure out what is the day a week that I want my new content to come out. For me, it's Monday. Then start looking around on YouTube, on Pinterest, on Google, areas in your niche where people are already presenting free content where you can go, like in my case, so-and-so is talking about branding. Well, for me, my specialty in branding is color psychology because the visibility emphasis. So I could do a blog/video on that, come up with a bank of ideas, and then set aside a day a month to do all the filming. You can schedule it all in advance, whether it's on video, Facebook. The only thing that you have to be there for is a live stream, right? Everything else can be automated. And you can at least plan out the topic and talking points and call to action of your live stream ahead of time in Google Calendar and just copy and paste. So it's really exciting when you start getting into this mode of going like, oh, I only have to put 4 hours a week into this. Not a week, I'm sorry, a month. That's when things start getting easier because you're not getting to your computer every day and going, oh, what do I do? Right? And that's when we get overwhelmed and we don't do anything. Will saying, I post high-level summaries on YouTube with full course on my website. Great. I think that that's fantastic. As long as you're able to pull content from those YouTube videos for your social media channels, that's great. Okay, great. Great work so far, everyone. Keep thinking about it. If you haven't decided yet, it's okay. We can always chat on Instagram and figure out, according to your personality type, which vehicle is best for you. But for right now, just take a shot in the dark. Try to align with what's going to be best for you and your schedule and what you're comfortable with. And now we're going to be moving into step 2. And I'm going to ask you to promise me right now that you won't take the link to your blog or podcast and post it on social media as a new episode or post. I'm going to show you what that looks like, and I'm going to actually show you what to do instead. This is old school, early 2000s marketing that doesn't really work anymore, especially if you're trying to build an audience. And like I was seeing some of you talk about in the comments with Twitter and Facebook, it's really hard to get exposure. So the last thing that we want to do is be trying to direct, for example, Facebook off the platform to our blog. We don't want to do that. Facebook's going to start suppressing our posts. Same with Instagram, same with Twitter. So I'm going to show you what to do instead. So step 2, we are going to be pulling social media content. This is one of my favorite parts. It's so easy because so many people get stuck when they go to post on social media. They don't know what to say. They don't have this process in place. So they're not only sporadically releasing live streams or video or podcasts or blogs, but then they're sitting there on Facebook trying to figure out, okay, what do I post today? I'm not really feeling inspired. Like, do I take another photo of my coffee? No one cares, right? They're feeling really frustrated. So the truth is you can make this so much easier on yourself by following my method, which is to pull from your content channel. So this means literally taking paragraphs from your visibility vehicle and putting them into your social media scheduling software. I know it sounds nuts, but I promise you it has worked so well for me. I implemented this about 6 months ago, and it's just incredible. People see me as the authority because I'm sharing what's already on my blog or already on my podcast, but just putting it with a new photo on my social media, and people are engaging. And here's the key. Yes, very much, Lee. The key is you are adding that photo, you're adding the call to action, you're bringing in that engagement, and those people are going to start going, and going over to your profile and clicking through to your blog and buying from you. It turns them into a warm lead so much faster than just posting a podcast link and hoping for some traffic, right? It's amazing, amazing stuff. So what I'm saying is you don't have to blog, YouTube, podcast, live stream, summit, and post new moments of genius on your social every day. All you have to do is publish content regularly with a visibility vehicle that drives traffic, and this will give you the material to use for your social media posts. Making sense? Just give me a yes if this is making sense. I know I'm covering a lot of material. That's right, Lil. Well, it does not contain a link to your video or your live stream at all. Of course, if you're doing video, the wonderful thing is you can post that to YouTube, and you can also post it to Facebook, to Twitter, wherever you want to. But the key here is pulling material from your visibility vehicle. So that could be your blog. That could be throwing your video into Rev and getting a transcription. It can really make a huge difference. You can, pull that and then fill it up for the week. So I'm going to show you an example. So like I mentioned, this is not going to drive traffic to your visibility vehicle. But what I do, the main way that I drive traffic is through Pinterest and also through my email list who are subscribers but not customers. But it is going to educate your social media followers so they build know, like, and trust. And that translates to them going to your visibility vehicle and your website as a warm lead and increasing their chances of investing in you. So here's an example. This is pulled right from my blog. And this is, I think my blog was like 1,000 words, right? So we just pulled paragraphs to fill up the week. So I usually do 5 posts a week per blog. Threw in a brand image in there. And as you can see, this was, I don't know, like 2 hours after posting it. You can see that there's already comments and likes. So that versus this, which is what most people do. Doesn't prompt engagement. I guess it has a little bit of brand recognition with my podcast cover image, but people aren't going to want to click it. And most importantly, Facebook is not going to prioritize you seeing it. This or this? What looks more engaging, right? So this is where the magic really starts to happen. So tell me in the chat, do you see the example? Does this resonate with you? Do you think that this would bring you more engagement, more clicks? Like I think it was Aurora that said for her contest. Do you see why this is really causing people to engage, to recognize you, and to become that warm lead? And thank you, Roxana, for talking about Twitter. I appreciate that. Cool. Lee says, yep. Appreciate that. How are we doing so far, Anka? Making sense?
Everything is making sense. And I'm actually curious if there's anybody who is already using your strategy or not. I'm very curious about that.
Yeah. Anyone doing this?
Awesome. People saying yes.
They're probably saying yes, it makes sense. And now they're like, wait, no, I didn't. Yeah, of course. You can see the first one again. Let me bring that back. So literally so easy. I can maybe what I can do, you should still be able to see my screen, right? So let me actually go into my blog and show you what this looks like. So you can see that for each blog, I have a video here. And then what I'm starting
the slides, Michelle.
Oh, you can't? Okay. I can maybe show that a little bit later if you guys want to see it. But I literally just take, Michelle's starting to do this, which is awesome. I just take a paragraph from my blog. I add a call to action sentence. I insert an image and I schedule. And we'll talk about how I schedule in just a minute. And it makes such a difference because Facebook's like, oh, look at her, scheduling these posts and there's no links in them. Like, let me prioritize that in the feed, right? It's not necessarily Facebook talking, but I feel like that's Facebook talking.
It's probably how they sound.
Right? Like, hey, there she is. Mm-hmm. It's technically the same content. It is. And a lot of people worry about, and they say to me like, well, Michelle, I put a lot of work into my podcast and, I want to direct people there to convert them. I'm like, yeah, but this is the same content. It's just presented in a way to keep people on the social media platform, whatever that may be, so it gets seen and engaged with. The great thing is if you're posting on YouTube, you're doing a live streaming your group, your podcast is in all the different stores, right? You're going to be picking up organic traffic from those sources, especially if you're focused on SEO and all that. You can run ads to it if you want or whatever, but we don't want to start getting banned and have content suppressed on our social media channels. So this has been the best way that I've found to get past that. So a post like this promotes engagement, shows my authority, and increases brand recognition, right? And the good news is everything was uploaded in advance. It's rolling out automatically. I'm just engaging. That's the beautiful part. It's like normally we're so tired of from like writing our blog. Like I know Michelle can attest to this. We write the blog, we get it all done. We maybe like do a quick post and then we're like, oh, I'm exhausted, right? So we don't really market the thing we've worked so hard for. And that's what can be really frustrating and discouraging. So this is a way to get around that. Will is asking, do you always post the same image branding or different images with different posts? Yeah. So Will, I alternate and I'll put in brand photos along with stock photos. So sometimes it's like someone writing at a desk and then it's me. And then it's someone, it's like a microphone and then it's me. So usually for the week, I'll schedule like 3 brand photos and 2 stock photos. You know what I mean? Yeah. So ideal length for a podcast, Judy, hard to say, depends on your niche. For me, I stick between 15 and 20 minutes. I don't know if that helps you. The nice thing, if they're shorter, like I don't recommend an hour, the shorter they are, the more likely people are to go back and listen to past episodes as well. Because most people listen to podcasts for about 20 to 30 minutes. So if it's 15 minutes, then they can get 2 in. Okay. All righty. So let's move on to step 3. And let's talk about what types of content you should be focusing on. We're going to have Anka unmute because she's going to be jumping in here too, because what we've done is through like my strategy and her strategy, we've kind of come up with some ideas that you can integrate together. So there are 2 types of categories of content, right? When you are promoting something, it's either something that's evergreen, like a blog post or a podcast or a live stream, whatever. But you also have time-sensitive stuff like product sales, launches, your one-on-one, your coaching program, your book is going to be 99 cents for a week, whatever it may be. So these are the 2 types of categories that you should be focusing on breaking down. And here are some suggested categories for you to start writing so that you can figure out where you can start divvying up your content. So there's promotional content, which is evergreen or date specific. And this is directly promoting your products and services. So for example, Monday through Friday, I have what's called my daily content going out from my blog. But I also promote direct to sale, like my podcast pitch kit or the Visibility Lounge. I have a cute little, icon and I say, hey, and here's the kicker. I say, hey, have you joined the podcast pitch kit yet? We have 200 customers who have booked, this many podcasts. Drop a, and then I put in an emoji below if you'd like to join. I don't say click here. I don't say comment. I don't do any of that. I don't put in the links because remember, I want Facebook, Twitter, Instagram to like me. So that is definitely key. The next type of post, informational. This is what we've been talking about most of this time, informational and educational kind of, in terms of informing on your products and services through blogs, videos, like we've talked about your visibility vehicle and teaching your audience how to, little pieces, whether I'm talking about color psychology, video, membership sites, whatever. And then last but not least, the entertaining stuff. Let me show you my last entertaining post because I just did this by the seat of my pants and I really didn't think anyone would comment. And it's been my most popular post this week. Let me bring it to you here. I hope you can see this. This is my pug, Oliver. So and I said, what are your pet names for your pet? And then I listed all the pet names for Oliver and said, am I the only one with 5 names for my dog? And it just exploded. People were like showing me photos of their dog and going through all the nicknames and going crazy. So that's a great example of an entertaining post.
That's because it's very relatable. Most of us have pets and all of us have pet names that we love to just throw around whenever it's just us.
Yeah. And right. And no one asks you when you go to coffee, hey, what are your pet names for your dog? I'd really be interested. So I'm sure people were like, someone wants to know. So it's fun stuff like that where you can bring in that engagement. And remember, the entertaining posts are to get people engaging so that it then prioritizes your next posts in the feed, which are usually educational, informational, or promotional.
Absolutely. And also keep in mind that these can blend in together. So for instance, informational and educational can be all in one post, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So you can either split them up depending on your needs or have them as one, again, depending on the content that you're sharing and so on.
Exactly. And Roxana, that's perfect. Those are definitely 3 of the ones that I recommend. So that is a great suggestion. Let us move forward here. So what I'd like you to do is to sketch out some categories for you to focus on. So piece of paper, pencil, or typing. I want you to write down educational, promotional, entertainment. And then I want you to put in under educational what your visibility vehicle is. Is it video, live streaming, podcasting, blogging, virtual summit? Now you're so sick of me saying them, but I'm going to say them over and over again until you commit. Then promotional, what are you going to be promoting to sell? I want you to write down what the products are or the service or whatever it may be. And then under entertainment, I just want you to write down like the stuff that you enjoy. Are you a GIF person? Are you a meme person? Are you a stats person? Are you a silly face person? Are you a coffee a day person? I have a friend that literally every single day takes a photo of his coffee. He's a color corrector on film sets. And so every day it's different. You know, you're at a different location. And so he takes a photo of his coffee on set wherever he's at. It gets engagement. So I want you to then write done in the chat once you've done this. And if you want extra credit points that count towards nothing whatsoever, let us know the answers to these categories because I'd love to see them. What is going to be your educational category? What's your visibility vehicle? What's going to be in your promotional category? What are you promoting? What's going to be under your entertainment category?
For me, so that we have something to talk about while they write it in the chat, I absolutely love engaging with fill in the blank posts. They're great for engaging, and they're also entertaining. And one trend that I've noticed recently is people actually letting their autocorrect or their keyboard filling in the blanks. So you would say something like, my dream is, and you let your keyboard finish the rest. And
it's like pickles.
It's also hilarious, but it's also extremely engaging. So I'm not sure if anybody has tried this or if you, Michelle, have tried this, but I am itching to try it on.
I answer them all the time. I can't say that I've posted them a lot, which is probably a mistake. But like the other day, someone was like, type CEO and then just fill in the next 3 words. That's what comes up on your keyboard. And mine was like CEO of the lake house, you know?
That one. Mine was CEO of this week and next week.
Nothing further though.
After that, I quit.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, there are so many different things you can do with entertainment. And what I'd love to do is go into this so that Anka can cover her content ideas sheet, because sometimes we're just struggling with what we want to do. And I find that this can be really inspirational so you can come up with ideas.
In the meantime, Michelle also is done in the chat.
Great blog with video, mini and eventually master course offerings, memes, music from the 70s and 80s, great, and asking ridiculous questions. I love it. Like, hey, do you still have your fanny pack? Like, take a photo of it. Like, I would love that.
They're coming back into season anyway, so.
I know. I love to sport them, and I don't care who judges me.
Yeah, exactly. Great. So talking about content ideas, this cheat sheet here will help you with a few examples of how you can create something that's either engaging or informational or educational. Why not? Whether we're talking pulling in a quote from the article that you're sharing, whether it's your own or curated content, if you're just adding their bold statements, takeaways from the piece that you're sharing, GIFs or GIFs, if you say GIFs, but it's GIFs. That go with whatever you're sharing as text, or just using self-explanatory images. Michelle mentioned earlier that she uses pictures of herself, maybe working at the office, at her desk with her computer. That's already self-explanatory because her job is at the computer. So she is going to be there a lot, and it is representative for her business. If you're not on the computer, if you're in a restaurant, then maybe a representative picture for you would be in the kitchen cooking or serving the food, or actually ambiance, but not right now because restaurants, that's a bad example, sorry about that. Yeah, moving on. You can use, I'm sorry.
Oh, nothing. I was just unmuting.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
So you can use also charts and graphs for statistics. This is exceptionally good for anything informational, educational. And did you know 90% of people believe anything better when there's a stat there? I made that up. Yeah. But it works. Trust me, whenever you have a percentage, whenever you have a specific number, anything that's a statistic there, it automatically gives more authority to your post. So as much as you can, I would advise using percentages and using stats that you have on hand. But of course, have them be true. Don't just say 90% of the people do this like I did. Okay, so my favorite from this list would be to add an "in case you miss it" statement. This is best used when you're repurposing your old blog posts. So imagine you've already done the 5 weeks that Michelle previously talked about, and every once in a while, so maybe 6 months down the road, you want to rebring that blog post into your audience's attention. Maybe because questions have been popping up on that specific topic. So you already talked about it. Now you just have to bring it back. And you can just say something like, "In case you missed it, here's my blog post on this specific topic, and I guarantee it will answer 90% of your questions." And if not, you can just ask a question of your own and have it be an engaging post as well. All of these content ideas are great to use, and obviously they're not every content idea out there. These are just a few that can help you get started. If you have any other suggestions, feel free to let us know in the chat. And one thing that goes well with all of these is that these can be hooks for you to create your content. So these can be hooks for you to actually start working on that caption if you don't have an idea of what to write with that blog post or what to add as a caption to that image. And then you can move on and transform them into social media posts that can either be engaging or sending traffic or whatever your final goal with that post is.
Absolutely. And like if it were me, for example, I would take a screenshot of this. I would create my entertainment category and I would just go through it one by one and I would create posts and then I'd go back through it and create another post. And so I would have a bank of like 30 different posts.
Absolutely.
And we're going to go through scheduling next, but I just really want to hit on the fact that what we're helping you do right now on this webinar is to create content buckets. We're showing you that it's really important to have at least 3 of these categories in terms of education, promotion, and entertainment, so that when it comes to scheduling out your social media, you're going to have a much higher engagement and therefore conversion rate. You're going to become associated with these leadership skills. And people, when you do mention, "Hey, have you grabbed this product?" they're going to be much more likely to buy, which is why we do what we do, right?
Yeah, and also all of these are things that you can use to repurpose one single blog piece or one single podcast or one single video. So that's already weeks of content that you can use on one single article.
Exactly. Absolutely. And that being said, once you have a good amount of posts, you're ready to start circulating. Now we can talk about what do you do to bring all this together? How do you upload? How are all these questions answered? So raise your hand in the chat, just say yes, or give me a hand emoji. If you'd also love to automate your promotional content to simplify your product launches. This is if you are a coach, if you are an author, if you are a service-based business, if you have a software that you're promoting, if you have a course, a membership. Did I say book already? So I would like you to know in the chat, would it be nice to have this be automated? Would that help you? Yes, 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 yes. This is something I really struggled with because I'd put so much work into, let's say, my course. And then, of course, I would be marketing it, but in a way I got kind of tired. So it wasn't consistently posting 2 to 3 times a day from these categories like we're talking about, right? So it was more of a struggle. So that's why we're going into step 4, which is to use a software that makes it possible and easy. So the first thing that you're going to do with, you guessed it, SocialBee, is you're going to create your content categories. You can see this is a screenshot from my account. I have my appearances, so I showcase the stages and podcasts and publications I've been featured on. And then as you see, daily public content, that's where, and as you can see, I have 99 posts there. That's where all of my blog pieces come from. And I also have categories for my live streams and my groups so that everything is uploaded. So your first step, once you're inside of SocialBee, is to create your content categories. In this case, if you want to make it really simple, put down educational, promotional, and entertainment.
Even easier than that, because SocialBee, and I'll show it to you in the demo, SocialBee also offers some preset categories that already include the 3 that you mentioned, so that it's everything ready for you to just add content in there and get that traffic, get that post going.
To make it super, super easy. Then what you're going to do is you're going to start uploading posts. Let's say it's your education category that are taken from your vehicle. So this is a screenshot from inside of mine. And in this one, I'm talking about membership sites. And so I uploaded that stock photo, which you can see. I selected the accounts I wanted to go to. So it's going to my Facebook and my LinkedIn. And I uploaded the post and added emojis. It's literally that easy. You can also, change the way, if it's going to be on Twitter or here or there, you can change things there in the software. But to keep it easy for this presentation, I just want to show you this is literally how easy it is. If you have a team, and so you're going to have a VA that's going to be doing this, and let's say you want to look over every post, see that little toggle where it says approved, just have them keep it in unapproved or draft mode, and you can go in and set them all to approved once you've looked them over.
Absolutely.
Really, really simple. And then last but not least, assign a day and time for them to roll out. Set a deadline if it's time sensitive. Remember how you said it'd be great to be able to automate my product launch? So you can create a category that says, for example, my mini course. You can upload, let's say, 20 posts because you're going to be posting twice a day for 2 weeks. And then you can set it so that it expires after a certain date and time. It is so ridiculously easy. So as you can see here, my daily public category goes out Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. This is going to be evergreen in this case, but if I was going to be, let's say, promoting the podcast pitch kit, I could set it to expire, I don't know, on Halloween, and I could set that category to go out every day at 11 a.m. It makes it so, so simple. You understanding kind of what I'm saying? We've gone from choosing the visibility vehicle, understanding how we can pull content from the visibility vehicle, adding in on top of it entertaining and promotional posts, and then being able to schedule it all and upload it all in advance so that it then goes out in an evergreen fashion. It's amazing.
It
right? Game changer.
Yeah, definitely.
And when Rosita says, when choosing daily, you also have to choose the profiles another time. So when you choose the profiles, Rosita, all you do when you're uploading the post is you just select the profiles you want it to go to. This enables you to, for example, you have like a paragraph that you're uploading and it can go to Facebook and LinkedIn, but Twitter, you can't do quite as much. So then your next post could be a little bit shorter, and then you could just select the Twitter profile. Does that make sense?
We're actually going to show you in the demo as well, so that it's visually there, so it's easier for you to actually understand it.
Exactly. And to answer Frank's question, I do believe Rev does. So that's what I would look at. I believe it timestamps for you, which would also make it easier for YouTube uploads. Huzzah. Okay. So step 5, how do I actually make this happen? Anka, let's go into the demo.
How do you make this happen? Before we go into the demo, I have 2 questions, one for Michelle and one for everybody else. I want to see how many people watching us right now already have a SocialBee account. And for you, Michelle, how did you discover SocialBee? What attracted you to actually start using SocialBee?
Absolutely. And the first thing I'm just going to tell Roxana is we actually have a special link for today's webinar. So please adjust your comment to do that. So for me, I found SocialBee, I want to say 2.5 years ago. And I really wanted to figure out, like, how could I evergreen post in my different Facebook groups and have it go out recurring. And then when I started figuring out what I could do with my visibility vehicle, I was like, this would be fantastic. So for me, I found it a couple years ago, and it has just been absolutely amazing to take so much work off my shoulders. And especially now that I can afford a VA, I can worry about the content creation, and she works inside of the SocialBee platform to upload these posts. And it's just such a time saver.
It is. It actually is. So I'm glad you're with us, and I'm glad you're enjoying SocialBee. And I'm also glad everybody else in the comment section is enjoying SocialBee. If you have any questions throughout the demo, feel free to add them to the Ask a Question section, as I will not be checking the chat while I'm doing the demo. That's because we're already 50 minutes into this webinar, and we want to keep it pretty short. So let me share my screen with you and go into SocialBee so that I can actually show you how everything is working here. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Great. So we are now in SocialBee. This is our dashboard. This is the first thing you see when you log in on a daily basis. And you might actually see we've zombified our logo for Halloween a bit.
It's so cute.
It's a zombie. Yeah, so in your dashboard, you'll be able to see an overview of all of your connected profiles. And for SocialBee, you can connect everything from Facebook profiles, pages, groups, Instagram profiles, Twitter, LinkedIn profiles and company pages, Pinterest, and Google My Business locations. These all can be connected either directly or via some other integrations that you will be able to see for each individual profile in particular. And here I'm talking in particular about Pinterest, which unfortunately does not have a public API yet, so we're not able to integrate with them directly, but we are using a Hootsuite integration, and a Hootsuite free account works just fine for that. Now, when it comes to adding profiles, it depends on your plan how many you can add. But once you have them, it's very easy to use everything, every feature of SocialBee to maximize your posting on each of these platforms. First of all, if you have a pro account in SocialBee, you'll also be able to organize your profiles into different workspaces. You'll be able to see here, I have a lot of workspaces. This will allow you to separate your projects. So if you have a project, or if you're freelancing and having different clients for different projects, you can actually split every client and give them access to their own workspace so that they can approve the posts or comment on them, or you can work with a separate team on each workspace. That's very cool. You'll also see a few details on each profile here. So you'll see a toggle that says either running or not running. And that indicates that content is being pushed out or not being pushed out to that particular profile. So if you want to stop all posting for Google My Business, for instance, you will toggle that, and it will ask you to make sure that you want to set only this profile to not running or all of them. Let's just set Google My Business there. So now we're not pushing content to Google My Business. That means anything that's scheduled already will not be going out because we've stopped it from here. And to start it back again, we just have to toggle it again, just start the engine for this profile. There we go. You're able to also set different time zones for each so that you make sure everything is as it should be. For me, I'm in Romania right now, so the time zone is set to Bucharest, which is the local time here. Now let's actually go into adding content. And Michelle actually mentioned categories. We have the ability to create evergreen or share once categories so that your content can be categorized according to their time sensitivity. So if you're sharing news, you don't want to share them 6 months after it happened, right? So you don't want to share a travel post during this pandemic because that will not work out for you. So you might want to pause that category, for instance, which will allow you to just basically pause everything until you're ready to set it back up again. Now, I also mentioned that there are a few preset categories that will create a content mix for you to use. And these are the 6 categories that will be preset in your account. You'll have blogs from RSS, which is something that can help you automatically import content from RSS feeds. And I'll talk about that in a second. You have 2 categories for curated, separated for evergreen, which is recyclable and curated news, because you don't want to talk about Christmas in July. We also have a friends category, which is not preset, so that shouldn't be there. Sorry about that. We just really love friends here at SocialBee. The next category would be our blog posts, which is pretty self-explanatory, is where you would add your own blog posts and promote those as either educational or informational content, or both, why not? You also have a category that's specifically there for promotional content, and you also have a preset category for quotes, questions, fun stuff, anything engagement related. And then you can also create your own categories. As you can see, we've created friends, we've created a lot of categories here. And you can create any category at any point in the future. And you can choose whether it's evergreen, share once. You can label it the color of your choosing. And you can even use advanced settings like a short link or UTM parameters for each category individually. And that's very important for marketing, especially when you're doing campaigns, so that you can track people according to your needs. Now, you have the categories, but how do you add content into them? Well, there's a few ways in which you can do this. You can either automate it or add it manually. Sorry about that. I'm nervous. So if you're about to add it manually, you can just either click the button up at the top here, which says add a new post, and this will open up the post editor. Here you can select the profiles that you want to add your posts to, select the category that you want to include your post into, and you can now just type in the text. Now I've prepared already a text so that I have it handy here. We're live with Michelle from Visibility Vixen in a webinar to tell you more about how you can free up your time and automate your social media. And you can join us here. I actually included the link and an emoji so that they have it very visible and out there. Now, this is already a good post as it is, and you can see a live preview of the post on the right side of my screen, but we can make it better. We can either add hashtags for different platforms. You have the ability to create hashtag collections in SocialBee. You see them here set as collections that are different for each platform, but maybe if you're using Instagram a lot, for instance, you already know, or you should know, that you have to switch up your hashtag constantly so that you don't get shadow banned, you don't get in a visibility rut, so to speak. So you may want to create different collections of hashtags that you can use according to the content that you're sharing. Maybe there's different hashtags for each type of content that you want to use. That's very helpful there. You'll also see a character limit here, which is based on the lowest character limit of your selected profiles. In our case, that's Twitter. But what do you do if you have a longer post that you want to share? You can either do what Michelle said, which is create a separate post that's shorter for Twitter, or easier, you can customize everything for each profile. And this will give you the ability to change stuff for each individual profile. So let's say for LinkedIn, we don't want a link. Let's just say we want an image instead. I'm just going to remove that link and fetch the image from that link. And now we don't have a clickable link preview as we do for Facebook. For LinkedIn, we have a separate image. That's just that, an image. And the link is here, which LinkedIn also shortened apparently. Okay, so you can switch up your posts depending on each social profile. But what do you do when you have 5 weeks worth of content for the same blog post, the way Michelle showed you in the beginning of this webinar? Well, you can create variations to your post. That way you have all of your 5 weeks worth of posts into one. So let's say here we change this text up with, have you seen our latest webinar with Michelle from Visibility Vixen? And well, now I just changed it. Oh, sorry. Why is it echoing? Okay, sorry about that. So now I just changed it for LinkedIn. So let me just go in and copy this for both Facebook and Twitter. So
this is so handy.
It is. It actually is. And it saves you even more time. Do you use this feature, Michelle?
I haven't used a ton of it, but I am thinking of all kinds of possibilities now. I'm very excited.
It is. And you can work, reorder them, rearrange them as you want. So even remove them if you need to. You can move them up, you can move them down, you can switch between 2, 4, 5, how many you need. There's no limit to where you can go with these. And there's a few other features here in the post editor that can further help you with your content. So Michelle, you already mentioned the approved, not approved toggle, which can help with having a VA or somebody else on your team add content so that you can approve it, or vice versa. But you can also choose when to post. So you can either just add it to the category. By default, it will be added to the top of your queue, which is the top of your category, as SocialBee's categories post from top to bottom in a last in, first out order. But you can also change that either from the category or just move your post and add it to the bottom of the queue, which means it won't get shared first. It will get shared last. You can also share it immediately, or if you don't want to schedule your category and you want to schedule this particular post because maybe you're announcing a webinar that is taking place on a specific date, you can post it at a specific time. And you can do this, let's just go for 9 a.m. And I tend to do random minutes. I do not like, and I actually don't recommend doing sharp times at any point, because that gives the impression that it's automated, or it can do that. So just add a random minute in there, and you'll see that it gives the impression that it's more natural, it's more organic. It gives the feel that you've just literally sat down and typed it out. So I've just scheduled this post for October 28th. What if I want to schedule my second variation, which maybe I want it 3 months down the road? So I can just add another another posting time here, change the time to whatever I want, and go down the road and maybe add it to January. And then I can add another schedule and another one and another one, and you get the point. Let's just go ahead and do this for now. You also have two ways of expiring the post. One of them is at a specific time and date. So if you're creating posts that are seasonal evergreen, for instance, Christmas is coming up, you may want to create posts that are Christmas related all throughout December. And they are evergreen, so you may want to repeat them, but you don't want to add them in January by mistake, right? So to make sure that doesn't happen, you can expire them on December 31st, or if they're Christmas related, on Christmas. Or you can expire them after they've been published a number of times. So let's say 1, 2, 3 times, especially if you're posting on Twitter where tweets have a shorter lifespan. It's better to add the post 2 or 3 times. And don't worry, SocialBee will not be posting this 3 times on your Twitter, because that's actually against Twitter policy. It will post it once and then retweet it the second and any subsequent time. So you will have a retweet of your own post just to kind of bring it back into the audience's attention. So when you're ready with this post, you can just add it and you'll be able to see it at any time in your category. So for us, it's the promotional category. I'll just add the post. It's not approved and set to expire after 3 publications. Once this post is added, I can see it in my category along with any other post that, expiration, haha, that's on me. Yeah, so as I said, you will be able to find this post in your category along with any other post that you may have there. And if I click on the promotional category now, you will be able to see it with the 2 variations, which means that this post will publish twice, once with variation 1 and the second time with variation 2. The way they will post, though, counts on the category that you have them in. So this one is evergreen, which means that we go through the posts in the category top to bottom. And when we reach the bottom, if you don't add anything new, we go back to the top and start back again. So in this case, we would be posting variation 1, then moving on to the second post, then to the third post and 4th and 5th. And once we reach the bottom, we start back up with variation 2 and go back to post 2 and so on. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yep. Well, and what I like as well is that with other social media uploads, sometimes you have to worry about file size, and SocialBee does host a large file size. So like I can upload a really high quality brand image and I don't have to compress it, which has been really a time saver for me.
Well, we do have maximum file sizes.
Absolutely. But it is higher than like, you know, the other services that I've used in the past.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And by the way, Roxana, if you can add the file for maximum file sizes, it's in our help documentation, which you can also find at any time at help.socialbee.io. So moving forward, I mentioned how you can manually add a post, but I also mentioned you can automate it. There's a few ways in which you can actually do that. One of them being RSS. This is the easiest one because you can just grab a blog, either your own or any blog that you want to share content from on a regular basis, and just add their RSS feed here. Now we're going to, I'm spoiling it here, I'm giving spoilers, but we're going to further develop this feature. It's actually in development right now, so it will become even more powerful than it is right now. But for the most part, here's what you can do. You can select the profiles you want to share your content on, the category you want to include it into. Let's go for blogs from RSS. You can add the RSS URL here. Now, there's a few ways in which you can actually find the URL. I'm just going to go to socialbee.io so that I can show you the easiest way, which is a browser extension. I just have this one here. It's called Get RSS URL. And when you click it, it finds the URL for you. In the future, you will be able to just grab the link and add it to SocialBee, and we'll be able to pick up the feed. But for now, you have to find the feed on your own. And we have a full article on how you can do that with video in the help documentation as well. Now, you may want to append text, either hashtag or a source or anything that you may want. So for us, let's say via at SocialBee. SocialBee. There we go. You can choose whether you want to add your posts as approved or if you want to expire them. And again, this expire feature here is valuable, especially if you're sharing content from news sources. So if you have any kind of blog that has shared time-sensitive information, you can actually expire the post after they've been imported after a number of days or even after a number of months. So it's all very customizable. And once you add your posts here, they will automatically import anytime they post, it will import into your category. So that's very easy to do, very easy to use. You also have other sources to help you import and automate your content. Pocket is one of them, and you also have a few importing tools here that can help. You can import links into SocialBee, CSV files. You can import media in bulk, or you can use Zapier to further automate your content. Now, we also have a browser extension. So if you're randomly reading an article and you think it's interesting and you may want to share it, you can just use a browser extension and create a post around it then and there. I'm not going to go through with it because we already created a post. And by the way, we mentioned approving posts. So you also have an approval screen, which will allow you to control which posts are going out, which posts need still editing or reviewing. And if you have a pro account or you have a concierge service with SocialBee, you will also see comments on that post. These are internal comments that you and your team can communicate through. And it also has a little history here so that you see who created the post, who edited it. You can also mention team members. So I could mention Roxana real quick to edit this post if I wanted to. Okay, we have the categories, we have the posts. Let's just quickly go into the scheduling part of it. You will be able to see 3 tabs in your posting menu. The schedule overview, which pretty much gives you an overview of all of your scheduled posting times across all of your profiles. And you can either filter from for the ones you need here, or you can go to the individual schedule setups for each one of your profiles. And this will give you something that's a bit more in depth. Now, for individual schedules, what I mean by in-depth is the schedule stats, which will tell you how many times each category is scheduled per week. So that way you can go for a content mix that's maybe 80%, 20%, 80% educational, informational, and entertaining content, and 20% promotional, so that you don't oversaturate your audience. And once you have your schedule, which, by the way, you can also generate according to best practices from this little button here, which now says delete because I already have a schedule. But if I delete it and create a new one, I will be able to generate a preset schedule. The preset schedule uses the preset categories. I say preset a lot. Okay, you're also able to use to see your next post so that you don't just see scheduled categories. You actually have the ability to see what post goes next for each profile. So if I go into SocialBee, into our Facebook page, you will be able to see either a list view or a calendar view of the next 100 posts going out. So this is the next post that you'll see on SocialBee's Facebook. And you can also see it as a calendar as well. If you have any failed posts, you'll also see those popping up here so that you can fix them and get your posts rolling out as soon as possible. Once you've published your posts, you should go to the analytics menu, which is also something that we're working on improving and getting more data for you. Let me just go to the Facebook page. You'll have two tabs here. One that's your dashboard, which is where you get to see more information on how your profile performs. So the evolution of your page likes, the activity status, how much are you posting from SocialBee, as well as your top performing posts. This is our top performing post from June 10, which is when we celebrated 4 years of SocialBee. And then you also have a post history, which is where you get to see every post that has been published and how they perform. So I've just shared this while Michelle was doing the presentation so that we have it handy here. You can see that it's shared via Share Now, and it wasn't scheduled, as opposed to this one, which is shared via Schedule. You'll see that we don't have any analytics information yet because it refreshes by the hour. But as soon as information starts gathering, you'll be able to see it here as well. And if you click on the timestamp, it will take you to the actual post on your social platform. So if you maybe see a typo in there, you can quickly edit it from here. So it's very quick and easy to reach. I'm not going to let that load because it will take forever. Now, a few other tools that are worth mentioning in SocialBee are the Twitter audience tools. These are specifically for Twitter, and they can help you get a better understanding of who your audience is, as well as who you should have as an audience, or rather, who you should target as an audience. And we're also working on some other features like the engage features, which are now in beta testing. So they will be available soon. This will be a feature that will allow you to actually control your comments, your DMs directly from SocialBee. So it's kind of like a unified inbox. For now, you can join the beta test if you want. You just have to send an email to hello@socialbee.io. And if you have a SocialBee account, you can join the test. But it is a test so far, so this is not out for everybody just yet. Okay, I think that's it with SocialBee. A few other things that you should probably know is that you have a few settings here that will allow you to add workspace users if you're on a pro plan, have settings that are specific to each workspace, and this also includes short links, and these are the integrations that we have at the moment when it comes to short links, as well as a few other advanced features that you'll see there. So another thing that you should notice, and this will be my final thing so that we can get everything rolling next, is the concierge tab. This is for when you need to save even more time. So if you don't have a VA, if you don't have time to work on your social media every day, every week, every month, you can have us do it for you. And you'll see our team here is very friendly. They are very good at what they do, and they can help you, including Jackie. Yes, they can help you with a ton of services that are catering to your every need, whether it's social media posting, Google ads, Facebook ads, content writing, or any other service that we have there. So I am going to stop sharing my screen. Let me see how to do that.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. So I hope everybody enjoyed the walkthrough. And if you have any questions on SocialBee, I'll see them in a minute in the Q&A section. Michelle, if you have anything else to say, go ahead.
Absolutely. I think that, SocialBee is a very robust platform. And what we've helped you figure out is what this visibility journey looks like, and then how you bring that out to all of your social media platforms. Mm-hmm. And what we want to talk about now is how to actually make this happen, because it's very rare that you take information from a webinar and implement it and everything goes fine and perfect and you just don't have to worry about anything. So How would you feel if you knew that you could have a step-by-step plan of how to structure your marketing strategy and the software to make everything roll out hands-free? This is something that we wanted to put together because we know that these are two very crucial pieces. So what we're going to be covering today, and you may have one, you may have the other, but just know that they're both available to you. The first one is going to be the Visibility Lounge. This is my monthly membership and community that will help you strategically execute your marketing strategies step by step. And then, of course, with SocialBee, this is the tool that's going to help you master your social media platforms and decrease your workload by a ton, like you've seen. It takes a little while to get familiar with it, but once you get into that mode, there's so much you can do. And then ultimately, if you want to, outsource through the concierge service.
Absolutely.
So I'm just going to go into these in just a little bit of detail so you can see what might work best for you depending on where you're at in the journey. Like I said, there's going to be a replay and you are going to get some emails as well, but we will be dropping the link below, which is visibilitywixen.com/power couple. If you want to drop that in the chat, Anka. And the Visibility Lounge is the only membership that uses Hollywood strategies to show you exactly how to shape your brand, attract publicity, and go through the 4 visibility stages step by step until you're consistently growing your website traffic, your email subscribers, and sales. That's what I specialize in. And I absolutely love the lounge because I get to do this with students step by step. So with the lounge and SocialBee, it's pretty much a match made in heaven. I should have put a GIF in there of all dogs go to heaven. Shoot. Okay, next time. Yeah. But these are the 4 stages. So you can see what the login area looks like. We have audition, guest star, leading role, and celebrity stage. And as you can see in the bottom left, we also have a visibility vehicles breakdown. I'll show you how to do it step by step, as well as social media channels and ads. So with audition stage, this is setting up your online brand presence, your brand video, and your messaging. Very key, very important, especially with color psychology. If you're going to be social media posting, it should be communicating with your audience subconsciously. Then in guest star stage, this is building a high converting funnel, establishing your visibility vehicle like we've talked about today, and driving traffic. Leading role is where we start transitioning into publicity. I broke that down a little bit at the beginning of this class. And this is building your press page, booking podcast summits and beginner publications and features. And last but not least, celebrity stage is writing your book, becoming a public speaker, and hosting your first live event. With SocialBee, as we've showed you, SocialBee stores your posts across all of your social media channels. It provides evergreen and feature once content categories. It has variation features. It helps you plan and schedule for evergreen or specific launches. It helps customize your post for each platform, and it also has a hashtag bank, which is super, super handy. So normally, if you were to buy these 2 separately, it would be about $640 per year. Normally, the lounge is $450 a year, and SocialBee, I think, is, what is it, Anka?
Our lowest plan starts at $19 a month, which to a yearly plan is $190.
There you go. So it is more expensive separately, but we, of course, love you guys. We want to give you a deal so that you can put these together because we think that this is just the way that you can really start growing that revenue and that traffic. So on this class, we're going to be offering both of these together for 1 yearly payment of $499. Which is going to have a couple of special bonuses with it, but we know that sometimes that can be a little bit of a stretch financially. So we're also going to offer 1 monthly payment of $59 a month. So we want this to be affordable and totally doable. So again, if you want to go and grab that deal, go to this link. That's visibilitywixen.com/power couple. We do have the ability to cancel at any time, either of these, the lounge or SocialBee. So don't feel like you are stuck if this is something that, you're on the monthly plan and you're like, meh, I don't really want to do this anymore. It's not a problem. We don't want things to feel awkward or forced.
Absolutely. And with SocialBee, you also get a 30-day money-back guarantee, which means that you can basically try everything risk-free.
Exactly. And we do have some bonuses as well for being on this class. If you join, I'm going to gift you the podcast pitch kit, the visibility calendar, and you're also going to be getting weekly hot seat calls and the monthly visibility sprint call. You can see the value there, and it's really great. The podcast pitch kit trains you how to build your press page and your email pitch and helps you keep track of your show submissions. And the visibility calendar is an import Google calendar, which will tell you what to do on each of your platforms daily. Hang on, sneeze. Okay, I hope I muted in time.
Yes, you did.
And if you are here on this class, I'm also going to give you the Visibly Productive course bonus. This is the step-by-step of each visibility vehicle. So if you're like, well, how do I get started podcasting? Or what does it take to run an online summit? These are the step-by-step workflows so that none of it will be a question mark. So again, here's the link for your reference. And before we go, we're just going to show you what this process is going to look like so that you know. When you go to the sales page, you're going to see this. You can choose either the yearly or the monthly plan. You'll be checking out for the Visibility Lounge first, whether it's the monthly or yearly plan. And then on the confirmation page, you'll be encouraged to go here to SocialBee to sign up for your account. And you'll see that Visibility Vixen in the top right corner, which shows you that you're going to be getting the 20% discount. And depending on your plan, you can save $100 or more. You're also going to get a confirmation email if you sign up for the lounge, which will also give you the link to hop on over to SocialBee. And for the lounge, you'll be logging in on this page. And this is what the membership area is going to look like. Ain't it pretty? And then if you sign up for SocialBee, you'll be logging in here and your homepage is going to look like this, like I showed you before. So very easy. We think that you can set this up for major success, and we would love for you to give it a shot. If you already have SocialBee, no worries. You can just do the lounge and you don't have to re-sign up. If you already have the lounge and you want SocialBee, you can email us at any time and we are happy to cater it to whatever you need. And on that sales page, you are going to have my email as well as Anka's so that we can figure out custom plans. If you want the yearly, you can chat with Anka. If you're like, hey, I'm already in the lounge, how do I get this? Then you can chat with me. But we just want to make it as easy as possible for people to just really understand how visibility works and how they can start seeing those benefits right away, which is going to be posting to social media.
Absolutely. And one more thing for the SocialBee part of it is that what Michelle mentioned earlier is our lowest plan, which allows you to connect 5 profiles, and it's called Bootstrap. But we also have other options for anything that if you need any more than 5 profiles. So if you're working on separate businesses, you might want to go with a pro plan or with the accelerate one. So we can definitely cater to your needs. You just have to let us know what your needs are so that we can help you out the best way.
Absolutely. So we want to open this up for Q&A. I have the Q&As open here. And if you want to chat about any questions you have about the lounge or SocialBee, feel free to drop those below. And we'll be doing that for 5 to 10 minutes just so that we can get you out of here, because I know you're probably getting sore from sitting here for so long. We appreciate you holding out and being here with us. We hope this has been a really helpful class for you so that you can understand how to build your visibility in a way where it's easier and more successful. That's definitely our goal.
Sure. So the first question, which I think you already answered some here.
Yeah, you can feel free to, go over it again. I just wanted them to have a quick thing to reference.
Awesome. So the first question is from Kai. If I do not want to write a blog post myself, well, where can I find professionals that I can pay to write blog posts for me? Michelle mentioned virtual assistants, or you can actually come to SocialBee, and we have several content writing options for you to choose from, and we can actually help you out with writing the blog posts, and even on certain plans, even uploading them to your desired platform.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's one of the services that we offer. It's content writing, and I believe the lowest price is $99 per article. So, and as with any SocialBee service or platform, you get the 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like it, you just ask for your money back, and that's that.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, the next question here is, apart from this webinar, are there formal training videos on all of these features? If you're talking SocialBee, yes, there are. There will be more coming up in the following months. If you need anything specific, you can also email our support team at hello@socialbee.io, and they will be able to assist with any help that you may need. And if you're talking about Michelle, then I'll let her take it over.
Yeah. And if you're, I mean, I'm sure you're chatting about SocialBee, but if you are looking for a way to figure out how to create your videos, your podcast, your marketing plan, that's definitely what the lounge is for. It is a beast that covers everything in nauseating detail. And what I love is that you can hop on a call, whether it's a hot seat, office hours, or a sprint call, chat where you're struggling, get your question answered. And we really highly encourage people to share their wins so that you can feel excited about the progress that you're making. So whether it's, like I said, a video or a podcast, or maybe you're building your funnel for the first time and you're figuring out, how do I convert traffic in the first place? All of that is definitely there in the lounge.
Awesome. The next question comes from Kai as well, and it's, what is the best strategy to find out good content for realtors that will get a big visibility on social media? Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually worked with a lot of realtors. So like I mentioned here, I like to focus on team posts. I like them to put headshots or team shots or working in the office shots and making them more relatable and human, because usually a lot of real estate agents or companies kind of hide behind the logo and you don't really know what's going on. So it's really nice to make them human and then post what homes are coming up on the market or on the market, live streaming tours and sharing community events. And especially my lounge members who are real estate agents, they focus heavily on podcast features. And that's what they also start putting into their social media strategy, which really leverages them as an expert, because not a lot of agents focus on podcast guesting. It's very interesting.
It is. The next question is very simple. It's, are you going to share this presentation? Yes, it will be a recorded session. You will be getting an email following up with the recording of this webinar, but you will also be able to access it at any point on the link you're currently on. Are there any recommended video transcribers that include data stamps on the content? I think you already answered this one, so we're just going to skip it. You answered Rev does that, so that is that. What is your recommendation for promotional posts without content links? Well, that depends. Depends on what you're promoting. If you're promoting services, for instance, a good way of doing this is to actually start by posing a problem and then offering your solution, and maybe just ask them to book a call with you, or to let them know in the comments, or let you know in the comments what their problem is, what they need help with, so that you can then interact with them in the comments and direct them to wherever you need them to be. Michelle, if you have anything to add here, because I noticed you have a comment.
Yeah, I just recommended that if you're struggling with, okay, if I'm not going to link directly to the post, what's a way, like if I'm promoting a mini course, let's say, that I can get people interested and have them buy without posting the link. And so that's why I just recommended putting in a call to action, like drop a emoji below if you want access, avoiding words like click here or click the link or comment and that kind of stuff that tends to get flagged. So for me, if I have a new sale coming up, I'll put up the image and I'll put something like that, and then people will start commenting that emoji so that I can then reply to them with the link, which tends to work pretty well.
That's an awesome idea. Next question. When choosing daily, do you also have to choose profiles another time? I think this was also answered. Yes, you have to select each profile whenever you're adding a new posting time in SocialBee. I showed you how in creating a post. You can also see that in a video on how to schedule posts in SocialBee in our help documentation, or even on our YouTube channel. I have a list of pastors' Facebook groups that I want to post non-selling high-value content to. Does SocialBee allow posting to groups that you're not an admin of? At the moment, no. You can only post to groups from SocialBee if you're an admin of the group. And that's because posting through SocialBee requires you adding an app to your group, and you only have access to those settings if you're an admin of the group. Otherwise, you will not be able to do that from SocialBee at the moment. Do you offer German-speaking concierge services? At the moment, our services are English only. That's because we want to ensure a specific standard of quality to our services, and we don't have any native German-speaking colleagues, bees, or even people who would be so fluent in German, so that we are certain that the content would be a good quality. Is it possible to move a post and its variations to another category? Definitely yes. Whenever you edit a post, you have the chance to reselect the category, which means that you can just switch it over to a different category. Now, if you're asking that in bulk at the moment, no, you cannot move posts in bulk from one category to the next, but you can ask us to export your posts or move them for you. And the final question comes from Mike. If I already have SocialBee, is there a way to purchase the Visibility Lounge with the bonuses?
Yes, absolutely, Mike. The handy thing about this is that the lounge is the first checkout. So you can just go to visibilityvixen.com/power couple, choose monthly or yearly, and you'll automatically be added and get all of those features in your account. And the last thing I'll cover is that you can actually put these all on your phone so you can watch on the go. So you'll be able to get all of that there, and you can start going through the content right away, which I love. And I think it's super handy so that you can not have to be tied to your laptop if you don't want to. So it'll look like this, and you'll be able to choose whichever product that you want and go into there and start learning right away. So absolutely. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. And that's our final question. So thanks to everybody for joining us. Thank you, Michelle, for all the valuable information that you provided us with today. I hope you had a great time with me here today.
I had a great time. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Anka. This has been such a great collaboration. And I'm so excited for the people in this audience to learn how to make all of this work together for good so that you can start automating a lot of your marketing and connecting with your audience in a more personal way through a visibility vehicle.
Absolutely. So just a small reminder, you will be getting an email with the recording of this webinar, and you can ask any questions you may have missed asking live in an email to us, either at hello@socialbee.io or for Michelle.
hello@visibilityvixens.com.
Yeah, so it's very easy to remember. And you can ask us anything at any point. We're here to help you. We really hope you enjoyed everything, and we wish you a great day or a great evening, depending on where you are located in the world. For me, it's 10 p.m. almost, so I'm going straight to sleep.
Thank you so much.
It was very nice chatting with all of you people here. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.